Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
So question number 1. What do we get from cereals, pulses, fruits and vegetables? From cereals like wheat and rice, we get carbohydrates, which is an energy giving nutrient. The pulses provide us with proteins, which is a body building nutrient. Fruits and vegetables provide us with large variety of vitamins and minerals, which are very important to stay healthy and to stay disease free. And fruits and vegetables also contain small amount of carbohydrates and proteins. So question number 1. Question number 2. Why there is a need for improvement in food resources? Okay, why do we need to improve? That is the first question from this chapter. Okay, in India, first reason is because of the growing population. Population is growing day by day, and more than 250 million tons of food is required per year to feed this given population. And in future also the population is growing. So we need to provide food security to all the people at all the time. So for that we need to improve the food resources. Second point is that land is limited. Okay, we cannot increase the cultivable land. We have already utilized whatever resources are available. Okay, now land cannot be increased anymore. So from the given piece of land, we need better quality and better quantity of crops. So the two reasons will be, first is growing population. You can make two headings for this. And second is land resource is limited. Okay, we have already intensively cultivated the land which is available to us. So now the requirement is from this given piece of land how to obtain better quality and quantity of food. Next question, list the major groups of activities for improving the crop yield. To improve the crop yield from the given piece of land, it can be divided into 3 steps. First is crop variety improvement. Crop variety improvement means better quality, better seeds, okay, better seeds which will have variety of crops. For example, the seeds which will give better yield per acre of land, which has better agronomic characteristics, or which is biotic and abiotic resistant. This is crop variety improvement. Second is crop production management. Production is, that is when the crops are growing. So the nurturing the crops by providing them irrigation, by providing them nutrients through fertilizers and minerals. Okay. Third step is crop protection management. Protection from microbes, disease causing pathogens, protection from insects, protection from weeds, and even during storage, protection from rodents. Okay. So this is the third step, that is crop protection management. So these are the 3 steps of improving the crop yield. Next question is, differentiate between Rabi and Kharif crops. Rabi crops are those which are grown in cold winter and dry months like November to April. For example, wheat. On the other hand, Kharif crops are those which are grown in hot and wet months like the rainy season, that is from June to October. Okay, for example, paddy, that is rice. Okay, so these are the 2 types of crops depending upon the climatic conditions and the photo period required by the crops. Next question, cultivation practices and crop yields are related to environmental conditions. Explain. Okay, each crop has different environmental requirement of different conditions. Some crops need larger photo period. Okay, some crops need smaller photo period. Then on the other hand, some crops grow well in cold regions, while the other crops grow well in hot regions. Some crops need more water during when they are nurturing, when they are growing, they need more water for irrigation, while on the other hand there are some crops which need less, requirement of water is less. So the cultivation practices and the yield are dependent upon these environmental conditions. So if you are growing crop, you have to study what are the environmental conditions of your area. Accordingly, which crop will be suitable, which crop can grow better in this given situation. Next question, how do biotic and abiotic factors affect the crop production? Biotic means the living factors, that this includes microorganisms, the pathogens which cause disease. This also includes insects or the pests which can actually harm our crops. And thirdly, it includes rodents, worms, which can damage the crops while it is growing and also during storage. The second one is abiotic factors. Abiotic means the non-living factors. This includes salinity of the soil. Okay, crops grow well in slightly basic or slightly acidic soil pH, but sometimes the salinity is high or salinity is too low, then the crops do not grow well. Second factor is the water availability. Okay, it should be optimal. Some plants cannot grow well in the dry regions. Some plants cannot grow well when there is water logging in the soil. So the temperature, heat, cold, frost, all these non-living factors are called abiotic factors, and they affect the production of the crops. Next question, what are the desirable agronomic characteristics for crop improvement? Now the agronomic characteristics varies from crop to crop. So if we are growing the fodder crop, all right. For fodder crop, we need tall plants and which have profuse branches, because fodder, they basically feed on the leaves part. So tall plants with profuse branchings is a desirable agronomic characteristics. But on the other hand, if we are growing cereals, okay, then we need dwarf plants, but more number of seeds, better quantity of seeds in the dwarf plants. We do not want unnecessarily the plant takes up the nutrients from the soil and become tall, but the number of seeds remain less. That is undesirable. So for the cereal, we need dwarf plants so that they take up less nutrients and it is easy to harvest them. So agronomic characteristics vary from crop to crop. Next question, what is genetic manipulation and how is it useful in agricultural practices? Now genetic manipulation is changing the genetic structure of the crops. Okay, how is it done? It is done in two ways. Okay, first is hybridization. Hybridization means crossbreeding between different types of crops. It can be intervarietal, that is different varieties of crops, of seeds, they are crossbred to give rise to a new type of plant. Interspecific means different species of the same plant, or intergenera means different intergeneric is different genera of the crops, they are crossbred to get a new variety. All right. So in this, what we are doing is we are changing the natural genetic structure of the crops. The second way is genetic modification, or in short it is called GM, in which a desirable gene is incorporated into the given crop so that when it grows it has those desirable characteristics. All right. So such types of crops are called genetically modified crops, or this process is called genetic manipulation, and it is useful because it gives us the desired agronomic characteristics what we are looking for. You can give examples like the cereals, dwarfness, or in fodder crops tallness. These are the examples of desirable agronomic characteristics. Next question, name any three factors for which crop variety is improved. So first is higher yield. I just discussed many desirable characteristics. You can write down any 3 of them. Higher yield plus improved quality. Second is abiotic and abiotic resistant. So those varieties which are resistant to biotic and abiotic stresses. Then third, those crops which have desirable agronomic characteristics. Alright, so these are just 3 important ones. You can write any 3 of the factors which I just discussed in my lecture. Next question, define the term hybridization. Alright, so hybridization means crossbreeding between different types of plants to get a new variety. This hybridization can be intervarietal, in which 2 different varieties of the same crops are crossbreeding is done. For example, 2 different varieties of wheat is crossbred, and then we get a better quality of the wheat. The wheat which is available nowadays in the market is actually intervarietal type. Next is interspecific, that is hybridization between 2 different species. And third one is intergeneric, in which 2 different genera of crops are crossbred to get a new variety. Okay, so hybridization means crossbreeding between 2 different types of crops to get a new variety of crop. Next, define the term photoperiod. As the name suggests, photo means light, period is from the time period. So the duration of sunlight required by the plant for its proper growth and for its flowering is called the photoperiod. So different plants have different requirement of photoperiod. Some plants grow well in hot, dry regions because their photoperiod is longer. Some plants grow well in the hilly regions because their photoperiod is smaller. But all plants do need a photoperiod because they utilize the energy of sun to make their own food and for their growth and development. So photoperiod varies from crop to crop. Next, what is GM crop? Give example. As I just told you here, GM means genetically modified crops. So in this kind of genetically modified crop, what is done? A desirable gene is incorporated into the growing embryo. Alright, so when this embryo grows and becomes seed, it will have the desirable characteristic. So such crops are called GM crops or genetically modified crops. Example is BT cotton. Okay, it is a genetically modified type of cotton with a better yield. So that's all from this topic. Now please watch my next video for the rest of the chapter.